The first step in water damage restoration is water removal. If there's water left behind, it will lead to mold and mildew growth. This is why it is so important to completely remove standing moisture. Professionals use industrial pumps with powerful suction to pull water out of damaged areas. They also use dehumidifiers to speed up the drying process. Once the property is safe to occupy, the next step is to restore the contents of the building. If the source of the water has been shut off, water damage restoration can begin immediately. Once the water is removed, the area will need to be ventilated and dried. After the water has been completely removed, reconstruction can begin. This process will minimize structural damage. During the extraction process, the company will also remove any remaining water for irrigation purposes. The cost of the water extraction service will depend on the source of the flooding. A professional can determine the salvageable items in a flood or drywall emergency and will determine if they can be salvaged. The cost of water damage restoration depends on the severity of the damage. The higher the number of class, the more expensive the project will be. A Class 1 project will cost less because only one area of the building was damaged. A Class 2 project will cost more because it involves removing structural elements. Depending on the level of damage, a restoration project can cost hundreds of dollars. The restoration process can also take longer if the water source is contaminated. Once mitigation is complete, water damage restoration companies arrive. These restoration companies can also repair broken possessions and replace flooring and walls. They can even perform major construction, such as repairing and removing mold. If you're in need of assistance with water damage restoration, you can do it yourself. But the professionals will be able to help you with the cleanup process and ensure that the property will be safe to live in. And you'll have a clean home again in no time. If the water has reached the ceiling of the house, the most immediate priority is to stop the leak. After that, the next step is to contact a professional to help you with the water damage restoration process. Most insurance companies will send an adjuster to assess the damage and assist you in filing your claim. If you're lucky, your homeowner's insurance policy will pay for the entire cost of the work. Then, you'll have to wait for the insurer's representative to assess the situation. While water damage restoration may take a few days, the process can be completed within a week. It may include water removal and drying, which can be done in the same day, depending on the extent of the damage. Depending on the extent of the damage, the cleanup process can take as long as a week. Once water removal has been completed, the technician will disinfect the property and disinfect the area. They will leave these drying equipments in place until the affected areas have reached the required dryness standards. The cost of water damage restoration depends on several factors. A professional water damage restoration service will be able to assess the extent of the damage and determine the type of water and materials affected. After the water is extracted, a technician will begin the air drying process. After the drying process has finished, structural repairs can be scheduled. Typically, the entire cost of a water damage restoration service can range from $350 to more than $1,000. A water damage restoration team will begin by removing the water and cleaning the home. During the process, the company will remove and replace any soaked materials, such as drywall. It may also need to install new walls. The extent of the water damage will determine the type of water damage restoration required. A professional will be able to advise you on what kind of water damage restoration is necessary. In the event that a roof has been damaged by a storm, it is imperative to call a local plumber for assistance. Regardless of which type of water damage you have, you can find professional help for the process. If the water damage is minor, it will be easy to clean. If it is severe, a professional will be able to remove the water and restore the structure to its original state. If the damage is extensive, a restoration contractor may need to hire a team of specialists to perform the job. However, this is not the cheapest option.